So welcome if you're new to my channel. I am going to be doing a straw blown flower here. I'm laying the groundwork for this. This is done with Floetrol and paint. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. There's no silicone in any of my work. I am laying the groundwork for the flower. I like to have an interesting background, and what I'm doing here is I'm laying a really thick layer. Generally, when you're doing something like this, making something of a puddle pour and blowing it out, you're going to have a much thinner sort of base. But for doing a straw blown type of thing, it really does need to be a little bit thicker to keep the integrity of the petals, or at least that's what I've been finding. Otherwise they sort of get a life of their own. So that's what I've done. It's still a 2-to-1 ratio, but I do not thin it out with any water except for just a smidge. The colors that I used in this are copper and raw sienna. Coppers always sell up nicely, or metallics always sell up nicely. And I went a little conservative, a little more conservative than I wish I had. I think it would have been a little bit nicer to put a little bit more along the edges there. But anyway, I thought I'd leave this part in for you just to show you how thick that actually was. And I do get questions on my backgrounds. I've changed my technique a little bit from my other flowers. If you've seen my other videos, you'll notice that I'm not doing a puddle pour as much as sort of laying out some groundwork for the petals themselves. This is Art Deco, and I will leave the names of the actual paint colors down below. These are metallics. There's 2 blues and a green in here, as well as a metallic black that I think is Liquitex. And I'm using the stick to blend them together a little bit and give real direction on where I want to go. I find that if I have some black in towards the middle of my flower and at the base, it it adds some depth. And also blowing into the black somehow adds something to my petals. I've just found that over time. So I don't know, that's how I like to do them. I leave white also poking through. That also adds interest into the petals. So and also I've started to work a little bit more with the flower as it's wet, rather than let it dry organically and then go back in quite so much later. So that's what you'll see me kind of fiddling with it with a stick, and it's I think working a little bit better, making less work for later. So I simply can't help myself. I absolutely have to go back in at another time and fuss with a painting. I leave them propped around my house in an area where I will see them, and I just go back and fix little details, just to make them a little bit better, add shadow and things. So I'll leave them propped in around my kitchen, in my den or living room where I'm sitting in the evening, and I'll just look at them as much as I look at the television. I don't know if there's other artists that do this. I think there are loads of you. So it's part of the process. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. It's just about done here, adding a few details, but if you have any comments or questions about this, well, for me, then please go ahead and leave them leave them for me. I try to get to them. I'm okay at it, not great. So, but I'm. It's not for lack of interest. It's just getting to them. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.